All right, let's talk about a major shift happening right now in how companies work. We're not just talking about making things a little faster or a little more efficient. We're talking about building businesses that can literally think for themselves. This is the beginning of the autonomous enterprise.
For decades, this was the entire game. We'd find a repetitive manual job, think data entry or something on an assembly line, and we'd teach a machine how to do it. Simple, rule based stuff. Then, of course, we got a little bit smarter. We started stringing those automated tasks together. We built entire processes, workflows, that could run pretty much on their own, with way less human babysitting. That was the whole era of business process automation. And this is the moment where everything, and I mean everything, changes. We are taking a giant leap from just doing things to actually deciding things. It's a jump from simple execution to real cognition. And that right there is the real question every single leader is facing today. Because, this isn't some sci fi movie concept that's decades away. It is happening as we speak. So here's the crucial thing to grasp. The conversation has totally evolved. We're not just talking about neat little AI tools that help us write emails faster anymore. We are talking about an entirely new class of digital worker, the AI agent. Okay, so what is an AI agent, really? What makes it so different from just another app or a piece of software? Let's break down how this new kind of worker actually gets things done. So here's how it operates. You don't give it a detailed instruction manual. No, you give it an objective, something high level, like, hey, reduce our patient claim denials by 10%. The agent then takes that goal, figures out the steps, makes its own decisions, pulls whatever tools it needs, and actually learns from the results, all with very little handholding. This is what we call agentic AI. And you can see how this is just worlds apart from old school automation. Traditional automation, it's like a train on a fixed track. It's rigid, it's based on rules, and if anything unexpected happens, the whole thing just breaks. An AI agent, it's more like a self-driving car. It has a destination, a goal, and it uses dynamic reasoning to navigate all the bumps and twists in the road, correcting itself as it goes. And this quote just nails it. It really gets to the heart of the matter. RPA, or robotic process automation, it just follows a script, step by step. An AI agent, on the other hand, interprets an objective. You tell it what you want to achieve, and it goes and figures out the how. This all sounds pretty amazing in theory, right? But is it just theory? Nope. Let's get into the real world and see where this is already being used to make a massive difference. Take a sector as mind-bogglingly complex as healthcare. Agents are a complete game changer here. They can take on the absolute nightmare of prior authorizations, they can draft smart appeals when claims get denied, and they can even dig in and figure out the root cause of why those denials are happening. And that frees up actual doctors and nurses to, take care of patients. And it's the same story in finance, where the stakes are just as high. I mean, imagine agents that can do your financial reporting autonomously, not just pulling numbers, but analyzing them. Or what about fraud detection agents that don't just flag a weird transaction, but actually investigate it? Or agents that are running audits 24/7 in the background, making sure you're always compliant. And this isn't just for Wall Street or big hospitals. Across any big company, we're seeing agents step in as AI project managers, tracking everything, or as AI research assistants who can digest and summarize huge amounts of information, or even in HR, screening resumes based on what really predicts success, not just a bunch of keywords. So yeah, the potential here is just massive. But, and this is a big but, this new level of autonomy forces us to ask some really tough new questions. This isn't just a tech problem anymore, it's a huge governance problem. Okay, let's start with the big one. If an autonomous agent makes a really bad call, a costly mistake, who's on the hook? The person who coded it? The company that used it? The manager who gave it the goal? The lines of who's responsible get really blurry really fast. All right, let's make this super real. In healthcare, protecting patient data is everything. So can we actually build and trust an autonomous agent to understand and follow incredibly complex rules like HIPAA, especially when it's designed to learn and change on its own? And what happens when the auditors show up? If an agent made, say, 10,000 independent decisions to reach a goal, how in the world do we create a paper trail? How do we prove its logic was sound and not biased? This is a whole new challenge that requires something called AI observability. This might be the trickiest part of the whole thing.
For so long, leadership has been about direct control, about micromanaging. But you can't micromanage an army of AI agents. You have to shift to governance. That means setting the right guardrails, defining the ethical boundaries, and making sure there are always humans in the loop to review and step in.
So, where does that leave us? What does all this mean for the future of business strategy? Well, it means we have to completely rethink what it means to lead in this new era.
Here's the first huge takeaway. Just buying a bunch of AI tools and plugging them into your old clunky processes is not going to cut it. The companies that win are going to be the ones brave enough to redesign their business from the ground up with these autonomous agents right at the very center.
And that means we have to stop thinking about AI strategy as just an IT project to cut costs. It has to be at the core of your company's strategy. It's got to be about building brand new capabilities, managing these new risks, and creating a real, lasting competitive edge through autonomy. So let's be absolutely clear about something. This whole narrative about AI replacing humans, it kind of misses the entire point. The real disruption, the real revolution, is creating a hybrid workforce where humans and AI agents work together, making decisions at a speed and a scale that we've just never been able to imagine before. And so that brings us right back to where we started. This isn't some prediction about the future. It's not coming. The pieces are already here. The first movers are already building it. So the only real question left is, are you going to be one of the architects? Or are you going to be left behind trying to figure out the blueprints?